This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association. Your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Mark Magnuson.
Hello and welcome into Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today is Thursday, August 3rd, 2023, and we're so glad you could join us for today's show. In today's episode, I will be joined by Dave Struthers, District 5 Director with the Iowa Soybean Association, for the latest edition of Between the Pods. I will also have a check of the ag weather outlook, but first, let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day, we are joined by Curt Kimmel of agmarket.net for our closing market analysis. Curt, there's a lot of action taking place in the markets, at least as far as news is concerned, trying to keep track of everything, but not necessarily a ton of movement. What's happening on the grain side?
Yeah, we saw a lot of zigging and zagging. Of course, today, Stone X, 177 bushels per acre, corn, 50.5 on the soybeans. The old Informer Group came out 176 on corn and 51 bushels on beans. And one of the larger grain commercials came out 180 bushels to the acre on the corn yield, which is, boy, it's kind of hard to swallow or head scratcher, because basically when you look at 50% of the growing region in drought, only 50 to 55% of the crop in the good to excellent category, it starts, some real debate taking place on those estimates. But it's highly variable. It's kind of like my yard. I live in central Illinois. I got some good black dirt for the yard. And it's a situation where they came in and scraped the black dirt off, left a little, and they dug a basement. So I've got in my yard a highly variable situation where there's some good green grass, where there's some clay ground. There is half a stand of grass. And by my driveway, there's no stand of grass because they used a lot of pea gravel to set the driveway forms up and didn't replace it with some dirt. So that's kind of how it looks clear across the Midwest. There's some guys talking some record yields. It received some rain. There's no doubt about it, but there's some that's missed out. So highly variable. I think later on in August here, where we see the pro farmer crop tour take place, that'll give us a little bit more of another estimate to look at. But we're going to talk about yield and variability for quite some time. But bean wise today, we saw the weekly export sales report came in at 96 million bushels, almost 97 million bushels. That's the highest bean sale in the weekly sales we've seen for a while. On the daily sales, we saw 134,000 tons of beans sold to China. China picked up some beans. That's what we need to see, because they'll be wanting to ship those here this fall and winter. So we need to see that take place in through here. Technically, we're kind of at the lower end of the range on corn. Is $5 to $4.80 on the December futures. Kind of needs to catch in through here. Soybeans, the $13 to $12.80 area in the November beans is kind of a technical area to try to hold in through here. Seasonally, we do drift lower this time of year as we remove the uncertainty of production with some rain around. That's taking the edge off. We'll have a crop. How big a crop? We'll debate that for quite some time. One thing for sure, Missouri, I think Missouri's out of the drought reading here with all the moisture they've received here this week.
So, Curt, back to that point about soybeans, when you talk about the soybeans being sold in some of these export sales, any indication that that could be the start of something and we could see that soybeans are now a little bit more competitive in the world marketplace, at least the United States soybeans?
We feel these sales will be consistent. How big, we'll see, because Brazil's got a ton of beans to move. There's talk that Brazil is in a situation where their bean shipments are backed up 35 to 45 days. So we could be an alternative source, but it's more of a timing issue. If you're a world grain buyer, there's some logistics or strategy to moving these boats around the world. So you're getting these boats moved from the southern hemisphere. They go to Asia, unload, and they need to be coming here to the northern hemisphere to pick up some beans and some different products from here in the northern hemisphere. So it's a strategic thing. But the thing is that China's growth economy needs to start picking up in through here. And I think it is. And the first sign was some sow numbers. Chinese hog herd on the sows is up 1% on 49 million head. That's quite a bit of feed use in through here. One other thing China's been buying kind of under the radar is some of this milo and sorghum and so forth. So there's some demand there, just needs to come forward. The big thing is future demand with this bio and bean oil. Whenever we ship beans to Asia and ship the oil back, that tells you we've got some pretty good crush demand in through here. Right now, crushers take a little bit of downtime, but I think that demand's out there. I think that they saw the Weather Channel or the weather guys show a lot of rain around, and they're just kind of got their hands in their pocket here short term before becoming buyers this fall.
Curt, on the other side of the ag marketplace, what's happening with the livestock today?
Well, on the cattle side, we remain quite optimistic longer term. The numbers are tight. If we start seeing guys retain some heifers in through here, that's going to make things even tighter yet. But the big thing on the livestock is this down move, particularly in the corn. It's going to give guys opportunity to book some corn here or gather some inventory here this fall. So we'd be looking at locking in some feed needs for sure. On the pork side of the equation through here, we saw a situation where those loins, hams, and bellies got dirt cheap, down to 70, 80 cents a pound at the wholesale level. Right now, the bellies are back over $2 here at the wholesale level. Of course, we got bacon, lettuce, tomato demand kicking in through here, and I think we've seen some demand kick in there. The biggest thing on demand long term on the meat side is we're seeing our population uptick in here, even though we're not seeing families expand a whole lot, but we got a lot of people coming into the U.S. here, and those people are going to hopefully have some jobs and want to eat. So I'm quite optimistic long term on this meat side of the equation in through here. Technically, we're just going to probably waller here for a little while, but this whole meat sector I think is quite dynamic as we look forward.
Curt, thank you so much for the analysis here today, but what's the best way for our listeners, our viewers, to get in touch for more marketing information?
You can call us here locally at 1-800-779-1515 or else go to agmarket.net.
He is Curt Kimmel, our guest here today. Curt, thank you so much for the time, and we'll speak again soon.
Enjoyed it. Take care.
Our thanks to Curt Kimmel of agmarket.net. Let's turn our attention now to the closing numbers, courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart.
September corn is down 7.5 at 4.80 3/4. New crop December corn down 7 even at 4.93 1/2. September soybeans up 5.5 at 13.82 even. New crop November soybeans up 4 even at 13.25 1/4. September soybean meal up $3.20 at 4.2710. September soybean oil down 62 cents at 64.04. Chicago wheat down 12 1/4 at 6.55 even. Minneapolis wheat down 14 3/4 at 8.47 1/2. Kansas City hard red wheat down 19 even at 7.82 even, and December oats down 9 1/4 at 4.44 even. On the Merc, August live cattle up 47 cents at 178.50. August feeder cattle up $1.12 at 247.95. August lean hogs down $1.67 at 101 even. August pork cutout down $2.30 at 108.60, and Class 3 milk down 4 cents at 13.77.
And that's been a check of the Ag Market Recap here on Ag Matters PM. It's time now to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. And when we come back, it is the latest edition of Between the Pods. I will be joined by Dave Struthers next. This is AMPM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today, I am visiting with Dave Struthers of the Iowa Soybean Association for the latest edition of Between the Pods. Dave is going to tell us all about the upcoming Summer Soy Series.
It's time to go between the pods with the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network and the Iowa Soybean Association. For the next year, we will explore the ways Iowa-grown soybeans are making a difference at home and around the world. Now, here's your host of Between the Pods, Mark Magnuson.
Mark Magnuson for the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and I'm joined today by Dave Struthers. He is District 5 Director with the Iowa Soybean Association. Dave, thanks so much for joining us here today, and thanks for having me out to your farm.
Yeah, you're very welcome. We've got a really interesting events coming up. The Summer Soy Series are going to be held all around the state.
And Dave, the Summer Soy Series, we've been hearing about that from Iowa Soybean Association in the past few weeks and ramping up to get ready for this. What exactly can farmers expect from the Summer Soy Series?
Well, they can expect to hear from ISA President Randy Miller, CEO Kirk Leeds, Christine Wiebeck, our Director of Research and on the on-farm research, that kind of stuff, as well as our Demand Committee, Grant Kimberly, with new uses for soybeans, as well as have some non-checkoff issues with possibility of the Farm Bill and what it may have.
And I know that Randy and company, they've been very busy taking trips all over the place and making sure that always expanding that demand and that need for Iowa soybeans. And so now a chance to kind of get everybody together in the same spot and go over some things that have been worked on this summer.
Yes, it is. You know, there's been a lot of interesting trade missions that have happened recently, and Randy's been a part of most of those. He's represented us very well. We always talk about China, and they are the big buyer at times, but they're not a consistent buyer, and we need to develop new markets, and we've got a lot of promising ones coming on.
So, Dave, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's talk some specifics. What are those upcoming dates for the Summer Soy Series?
Well, they're held the end of August on the 28th, 29th, and 31st. There will be a mid-morning to noonish, over the noon hour series, as well as an evening series. I've got the 28th. We're starting out in West Liberty at J.J. Nickton Company, the IH dealer there, Case IH dealer there, from 10 to 1:15. That evening, they'll be going to Indianola at 5:30 to 8:30 at Skyview Vineyard and Event Center, which is my district, so I will be in attendance there. On Tuesday, the 29th, starting out in Holstein at 10 to 1:15 at the Cobblestone Inn and Event Center. That evening in Atlantic at the Cass County Community Center, 5:30 to 8:30. And then we skip a day, and Thursday the 31st, we go to the North Iowa Event Center in the Kinney building there in Mason City. And then finish up that evening at the Single Speed Brewery, 5:30 to 8:30 in Waterloo. That's also would cover people from my district.
So, Dave, a nice spread then covering the entire state for the Summer Soy Series.
Yeah, we need to get out and interact with the farmers. I mean, we have a board of directors that represents the 9 crop reporting districts in Iowa, and we try to do our best to communicate with our neighboring farmers and producers to what their needs are and what they feel the Iowa Soybean Association should be doing to represent them. This gives even a better way for them to come and hear what we're doing firsthand and to provide input.
And Dave, are all those events starting at the same time at each of those locations?
Yeah, each one of those that starts in the daytime during the day is a 10 to 1:15, and then we're 5:30 to 8:30 on the evening ones.
And Dave, is that a nice time of year for farmers to get together where you obviously still have plants in the ground that are going through that pod fill process and they're, hopefully getting to the stretch run of the season, but you do have a little bit of time maybe to get away from the fields and come check out the Summer Soy Series?
Yeah, by the time the end of August rolls around, there shouldn't be any field work to be done. All the spraying should be done. Pods should be set. We should just be analyzing what kind of great bean yields we're going to have. The corn should be pretty much in limbo and developing, so we should have time to get away and go to an air-conditioned place to have a good meal and good fellowship with fellow soybean farmers.
And Dave, you had already mentioned it a little bit, you had touched on it, the fact that there is a non-checkoff component to this. And when we talk about non-checkoff component, that's going to be more of the policy side of things. At some of the Summer Soy Series events, they're going to be talking about the Farm Bill and the implications for the Farm Bill going forward. So that will be a part of this get-together as well.
Yes, it will be. Jim Wiesmeyer, who is an analyst with Pro Farmer, will give his insight from his many years being in D.C. as to what he foresees happening in the Farm Bill and kind of the time frame. We set policy at ISA in the wintertime, and so we have policies on the books and are always looking for input for those people that are not associate members that have not paid that $40 associate member, we'd love to have you join us and be a part of our policy committee and our policy development process and provide input. But Gene Wiesmeyer will be providing information as to what may happen there.
Dave, I know that you as an Iowa Soybean Association director, you're also, of course, a farmer, so you get to see everything from both sides of the coin. But for these events, why do you think they are so beneficial to farmers here in Iowa and something they should check out at the end of August?
Well, we all have the same goals in mind. We all want to raise a family and a good crop, and we want to do it profitably. Getting together with fellow soybean farmers, seeing what your association, and I say it is your Iowa Soybean Association, because if you raise at least 250 bushels of soybeans, you are at least an Iowa Soybean Association member for the production you produce, and you need to be able to provide the input and express your wishes.
And when you were not in a position as a director, did you find events like this beneficial towards you to get together, as you said? And it does provide a little bit of fellowship with your fellow farmers. You get to talk things over at the end of the growing season or towards the end of the growing season.
Yeah, I mean, my personal mantra is if you're not learning, you're not living. And you always learn something at these meetings. You might think, oh, they're just going to go over the same stuff I can read in a magazine tomorrow or online tomorrow. But it's not. You get a lot of personal interaction, and you can bring up things, and a lot of times the discussions will spark a question in your mind that you can ask directly to the person that makes the decisions.
And as you can very clearly see here, we are on Dave's farm, not just a soybean farmer, but that's, of course, a big part of his repertoire. Dave, when we talk about the soybean growing season this year and what we've seen, what kind of jumps out at you? What stands to the front of your mind as something that you've seen this year that maybe is a little bit different, or something that just kind of has you thinking, man, this has been an interesting growing season?
Well, for us particularly, we had a big hailstorm in May 7th, and I had some soybeans that were planted early, trying to get the jump on the growing days before the solstice, and they were just emerging about 3 days before the hailstorm hit. We did have to do some replant because of that. We have had dry stretches, but here in central Iowa where I'm at, we've been blessed with a few timely rains, and things have not really been stressed much since the hailstorm, and we got the potential for a real good soybean crop, but we got to have those August rains, which we don't know whether that's going to happen or not.
And of course that is the key, because we know early on in the summer when it was so warm and dry, we did start to think, is this going to hurt any of the yields? But we're thinking more of corn at that point, of course. But then, like you said, with soybeans, they are so much of a plant that later in the season can still have so many benefits from that late season rain. So right now, that's kind of what we're looking at. We're looking at the weather and what's going to happen with that rain going forward.
Yeah, that's right. And the big thing has been kind of eye-opening to me is that we haven't really had problems with some of those dry weather insects. Some of the spider mites and things like that have been pretty much held at bay, and so that's been nice. We've had some heavy dews here lately, which is good in the morning, but it can also cause some issues with fungus and stuff like that. But we try to stay on top of that and monitor and apply a proactive approach with the fungicide if we feel that's needed.
So, Dave, as we wrap things up here today, talking about the Summer Soy Series, how the soybean growing season is going in general, anything else you'd like to let our viewers, our listeners know about here in the state of Iowa about the Summer Soy Series and what you're looking forward to at the end of August?
I just want to tell everybody it's a great time to have a good meal, meet fellow soybean farmers, meet our CEO, meet our president, meet some of the directors, the people that are elected to represent you. And if there's any questions you have about the Farm Bill or about what ISA is doing, where we're spending our research dollars or your checkoff dollars in promotion or research, education, all those aspects, please come and let us know, and we want to hear from you.
He is Dave Struthers. We're here on his farm located near Collins, Iowa, in central Iowa. He is the District 5 Director for the Iowa Soybean Association. Dave, thanks so much for taking time to join us here today. Best of luck with the Summer Soy Series. I know you'll have a great time.
Yep, I'm planning on it.
And that was Dave Struthers of the Iowa Soybean Association. Let's turn our attention now to the Ag Weather Outlook. As we continue to make our way into the month of August, we were well aware of the forecast coming into the month, which showed cooler temperatures and more rainfall for the Corn Belt and really most of the Midwest. And so far, that has come to fruition. And here in the state of Iowa, for the next few days, really, we have scattered chances for rain and thunderstorms. And again, that's scattered throughout the state. So it's going to be some of these local rainfalls that affect a very local area. So hopefully those hit the spots that need the rain the most. So let's turn our attention now to the National Weather Service and what's in store for the next 24 hours.
As you can see from the National Weather Service, partly to mostly cloudy skies with a chance for thunderstorms in southwest Iowa today. High temperatures expected 82 to 88. For this evening, partly cloudy skies with a chance for thunderstorms in southwest Iowa once again. Low temperatures tonight expected in the 66 to 70 range. Partly sunny skies for tomorrow, widespread chances for showers and thunderstorms around the state, and Friday's temperature range 83 to 91. So now as we look at our affiliate weather map for tomorrow, Cherokee partly sunny, then a chance of thunderstorms, high around 84. Shenandoah, a chance for showers, expected high of 83. Des Moines, partly sunny, then a slight chance for thunderstorms, high around 89. Albia, mostly sunny skies and a high around 88. Waterloo, mostly sunny and 91. Clinton, mostly sunny, and then a slight chance for thunderstorms and a high of around 90 degrees.
For a more detailed forecast in your part of the state, make sure and check with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. And that's been a check of the Ag Weather Outlook. That also brings us to the end of this episode of Ag Matters PM. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And you can find our video content and previous episodes of AMPM on our YouTube channel. And don't forget our free twice daily market podcast on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Mark Magnuson. For Riley Smith and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.